Again, I've worked plenty of political ads. You don't need a huge film crew to do this. This format is so easy, and it takes way less of your time than probably any other format. Hey, we're back with you, and today we want to talk about podcasting again. Surprise. Here we are. But it's political season, and there's a lot of chatter, and there's a lot of candidates running, and they need media. They need avenues to tell people about what it is they want to do for you and why you should vote for them. And we just want to talk to you about why, if you're running for any office, you should definitely have a podcast.
Yeah, let's begin with the elephant in the room. Last election cycle, has there ever been a more clear vision of how much podcasting can affect an election? I don't know that there's ever been a time that was more just right in your face than what happened in 2024. And we are now 2 years later, and I'm not seeing the amount of podcasting that I expected. I do see candidates looking to get on other podcasts, but now you are putting yourself into a world where someone else's views are going out the same way that your views are. Why not control that narrative? Why not be able to express your views, how you want to be able to represent whatever area it is that an office that you're running from, in a way that fits you and fits what it is that you want to say? And that's why, I think that anybody from the county level on up, if you don't have your own podcast, and not even during campaign season, but also just all the time, how else are you keeping those in your constituency updated about what's going on and everything that's happening inside of the district or the region of which you're representing? It boggles me that no one is doing this yet.
Yeah. Well, last election cycle, we saw a lot of different social media strategies. I think that really shaped how that race turned out. Whether you like the results or not, I do think whether a political candidate went on literally one single podcast or not is what decided that election.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of other candidates who took to TikTok and did long form update videos on TikTok, just from their office. I believe, I can't remember his name, but he's from North Carolina, and now he's governor of North Carolina, I believe. But he was in Congress, just gave updates on TikTok about all the bills that we're going through. And he got shut down pretty hard in Congress for doing that. But people really liked hearing an update from him about what was going on. People just really, really liked it and consumed it. And it got tons of views, tons of interaction, lots of shares. And that format was this format right here. I'm sitting in my space. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you about how you can look at these bills, what they actually mean, in a personal way, person to person. And it kind of felt like it was outside of, the political ads you see on TV, and it felt more authentic, just kind of like this, where I can tell you about what it is I'm going to do for you, why you should vote for me, also why you should care about this bill, the things that nobody's talking about in this bill, lots of different subjects you can bring up. And it just feels really organic, really nice. And it's not like C-SPAN where people probably don't understand what's happening because there's a lot of rules.
Shot camera.
But political candidates can get on a podcast like this or produce long form content like this to camera and just tell you, hey, here are the updates. Here's what you really should know. Here's what's happening. And they can do it in a non-biased way that actually is good for people.
Today, candidates will go out and still to this day knock on doors, because they want to, number one, meet the people face to face. So when someone goes to vote, they can remember that interaction. But also, it is to find out specifically what the constituents are wanting, what they're looking at for what matters to them most in the area. And I'm not saying that a podcast can replace that. I don't think it can. I think that a podcast complements it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it can even amplify it. Because let's say we have a candidate for state legislature, and he or she is out knocking on doors and talking to people. Now they come back into the studio and they sit and they talk about, here's what I learned by being out and knocking on those doors. Now, you have just told people that, yes, I'm out there, so look for me because I'm coming to your door too. And also, you've just shown I care. It wasn't just lip service. I actually care about what you have to say. And how else are you going to get that out if you're not getting in front of all of these people? But this way you can. If you have gone and knocked on someone's door and then there is a video short of you talking about being out and doing that, that algorithm's going to work,
Mm-hmm.
and that algorithm is going to show it to the people that you just came by. And now you've just doubled that, and you have shown that person you listened to what it is that they had to say. That's huge.
That is huge. And one up that flyer you hand out when you do the door knocking can lead them to a long form video, just like this one you're watching right now, where you could just explain all the things you stand for. You could tell your story. Because when you're out campaigning and door knocking, you get a lot of slams, probably.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of people that don't want to talk. You don't have all the time in the world, right? But if you can give them a link to a resource where they can go find out more, that's when you start to win like some real loyalty with people. Because you only have that short interaction, right? But if you can lead them to more substance and then show them who you really are on the back end through, organic, original content, it's just like this, natural people talking, not the political ad, not the and I worked the political ads. They're all kind of the same, I'm gonna do this, and then the other person comes on and says
Usually a lot of
the other person is trying to literally kill you or something. Sometimes it's crazy what they put on there. And honestly, most of the time for either candidate, a lot of stuff is very exaggerated. Definitely not true. I don't know of any senators that are actually killing people. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
So it's a much more relaxed environment, basically, and you don't have to. You can actually say what you mean. You don't have to get it within certain parameters of it needs to be 15 seconds. How can you convince somebody to vote for you in just 15 seconds?
All right, let's.
You can't. I don't think you can.
No,
they try, but it might. I think it does work, but I think there are other ways that you can really start a following that lasts with you more, maybe probably even more than just one election cycle.
Well, let's rip the blanket off here. And all right, if you're running for office, I'm talking to you. Why are you running? Why did you put yourself into the race? Are you just there because you want your name attached to a race that's going on and whatever the results are, they are? Or are you running because you want to win and because you believe that you are the best person for the job? How are you going to tell people about this? Taking the easy road of, okay, we're going to the printers and we're going to put up a bunch of mailers and we're going to send all of these things out that just fill up the landfill, because that is what's happening with them. We're going to put up a bunch of yard signs and we're going to make sure that my name is everywhere. Okay, so you have a yard sign that has your name and what office that you're running for, and that's it. What have you told people? What have they learned about you that is going to make them want to vote for you? Put together long form podcast, then short form videos from that, and get that out there to the people that are going to be voting. That's how you reach people now. It was proven 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it still is working and accelerating today. There's not enough candidates doing this. And it surprises me how they're not, because it's right there. It's right there to be done, and they're not doing it. Or maybe they're just holding up the phone in front of them and talking and walking around. Yeah, that is going to have a little bit of an effect, but not like what we're talking about. We're talking about putting you into a professional studio. We're talking about lighting. We're talking about microphones. We're talking about an entire production to make this correct and how it is that you want to be able to express yourself. Because I've said it many times on my own shows, I don't have an axe to grind with any of this. Yes, I do vote, but I am not personally using my platforms in an attempt to shape an election. That's not my job because I'm not running. You are running. That is your job. And you need to reach the people that you want to vote for you. And the old school method, that's yesterday. This is the way to do it today.
This is the way they did it last election cycle.
Yes, they
You see what happens there.
Look at who won and what
Yeah.
they did.
And that was just that's the thing about podcasting is you get to network with other people while you're podcasting. So, you know, you get to go on these shows. You know, both political candidates went on multiple shows. Again, we kind of mentioned there was probably one show that probably maybe made it or broke it. But that's the other thing too about doing the podcast here too. You know, if you were running for an office and then you get an endorsement, you know, from another candidate, you can bring them in on the podcast. And why do you actually endorse me? You know, what work have we done together? You can talk about these things more in depth than you get in just your normal commercial, your normal flyer. And then again, you can put links to all this stuff on all of your promotional content, whether it's email, print and mail, all that stuff. So this format is great because you can lay the groundwork and you can use it across the board in your marketing strategy when it comes to winning your election.
All right. I'm going to play devil's advocate on the other side and get you to answer me. By the way, we didn't script this. So I'm just going to have you give the answer to some of the things that I'm sure are running through some candidates' minds. Number one, I don't have time to do that. I can't be coming in there every week and doing all of these things in order to create these videos that are going to run every week. I just don't have time. I'm out campaigning.
Well, it is currently 9:19 a.m. We started this at 8:40.
Okay.
We recorded more than one podcast. This is our second podcast for today, actually. And we're going to be done here in about the next 10 minutes. So by 9:30, we're going to be done and back to doing our job.
Right.
We're talking 1 hour.
Less than.
You get a long form video. You can put that in your email, and we can cut it into shorts. Typically, we find that you get anywhere from 5 to 10 shorts per 20, 30 minutes of video. Just kind of depends. It's in that range for 1 hour. And it's this type of content that is natural and organic. It's not, you know, you don't need, again, I worked plenty of political ads. You don't need a huge film crew to do this. You don't need, like the one I worked on a couple weeks ago, we had like 30 extras. So this format is so easy and it takes way less of your time than probably any other format. And it takes less of your staffers' time, and they can allocate their time to more, you know, critical things for running the campaign than, you know, trying to collaborate with different agencies and then, you know, wrangling around a ton of people just to show up and do all these things, you know, and still do those commercials too. But this is an easy format. It takes an hour of your time. You walk in and you walk out. All you need is maybe a sports jacket with the pin that you need associated with your party, and that's all you need to do this thing. And bring a guest with you, but chances if you're running for office, you have plenty of people that would come in and talk about why you're awesome, what you've done together in office already, you know, all those things you can bring in.
They're talking about once a month coming in and doing this. And if you sit down and block off time, as Kyle just said, you know, we're less than an hour and we've created 2 episodes that will then create how many shorts? A lot. Anywhere 5 to 8 to 10. I mean, there could be just once we cut it up and then we can see how much compelling information there is to be able to push out there. That is on the backside of how all of that works. How about I don't have an extra tens of thousands of dollars in order to be able to get these podcast and video shorts done?
Yeah, sure. Our packages for this start at $5,000. So, I mean,
and that gets you through a whole campaign season.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah. What is that again? Is that how many episodes?
That particular package that Kyle's talking about is designed to run up to the primary. which is on June 2nd. So if you are in a primary race and you know that you have to beat and get more votes than other people in your own party in order to get nominated to be on the ballot in the general election coming up in November, how are you reaching them? How are you reaching people and convincing them to vote for you over one of your competitors that are in the race inside of your same party? Is there a better way of doing it than this? I don't see it that way.
Yeah, you have a lot of content to post before the primary just to even make it to the secondary. Again, it's just 1 hour too.
Yeah, just 1 hour a month, and you're coming in and you're getting everything done, and then you're done. At that point, that's why you hire us. That's why Kyle and I, experts at what it is that we do, and we put a lot of time and energy into studying all of this and to understanding. My side's going to be on the content, and Kyle is a genius when it comes to how does that SEO work and how can we get this in front of the most people. We work together in order to get the best product out to the people that you are trying to reach and trying to convince to vote for you, or in some cases, to vote, period. Because we know primaries are typically not very well attended, and we just don't get that big of a turnout. So that means that each vote means even more than it does in the general election, because more people will come out in the general election than the primary. And you need to convince people to go out and vote for you that maybe weren't otherwise. So that's the message you need to be getting out.
Yeah. And time is limited.
Very limited.
We're just a couple months out. So
yep. So yeah, if you want to be able to push things out in April and May in order to ramp things up for that June 2nd primary, now's the time. And again, I'm going to say it again. Why'd you get in the race? Do you really want to win? How are you doing that? You need to come talk to us.
Yeah. And then you can do it again when you get past the primary too. But also you can rerun all this stuff and it just keeps going. So that's the nice thing about the podcasting format. It's you're on the apps where people are going to be able to search for you and find you. When you're just posting to Facebook, TikTok, and some of those other places, you have about 4 days, and then the algorithm stops pushing your content because it's looking for something new. However, on YouTube and the other apps, that is not the case. Your views continue to build for years afterwards. So if you're planning on running and getting an office and being there for long term, it's also a great play because you're going to have the history of the content, which gives you all sorts of benefits too. I mean, if people end up how the ads go, they're going to say you said something, maybe you did or didn't. Well, there's probably a YouTube video from 2 years ago. It's like, no, I've been consistent on this issue from the start. So it gives you that track record with people too. And as it grows, the views keep growing. We've been posting long form videos for over a couple years now. And there's videos from years ago that pop up, get reshared, get tons of new views. And it's just, wow, when did that happen? Well, people go back and find these things and they re-engage with that content. And you can repurpose that old content and post it out again on the short form apps because, again, after 4 days, people kind of forget because Meta stops showing it, Instagram stops showing it. You got 4 days of life out of all these short form videos and then nothing. So, but when people are searching for your name, when people are looking for who they want to vote for, having content on YouTube and other platforms is going to help you get found. And then people are going to have a direct source, you talking about what it is you want to do in office. And that is something that's very special. So take advantage of that.
And how do you do it? You go to localstreammedia.com and you get a hold of us and you set up a meeting and we sit down and talk. And we say, okay, here's what we can do specifically for you. Here is how we can tailor this to fit your campaign. Because again, not everybody's going to be exactly the same. This is not a cookie cutter way of doing things. Every single one of these podcasts need to be tailor fit, and we're going to make that happen for you. So go localstreammedia.com is the place to go. Get the ball started, and you need to do it quickly because the primary is coming fast.
Very cool. I think that's all we have for you today. So whether you're seeing this in long form or this is being clipped up into short form videos, and it's leading to the long form. Yeah, we would love to work with you. We want to see you succeed in office, and I hope to see you soon.